252.
Hey, welcome to another episode of 252. Frank G here along with
Cool Water Kurt.
Ralphie D.
Today we're going to be talking about the death of the old Hangout. Most specifically the destruction of the malls, but other places that people might have hung out back in the day too. I know before there were malls, people had a place to hang out. We happened to be there right at the right time when that mall was built right before I moved to Fairfield, maybe the year before. So I was there from its birth until I left. But now it's falling apart.
Our mall, so Solana Mall was, I want to say 81.
1981.
Okay, so 1981. I know we moved to Fairfield in 79 from New York.
As did we.
We came in 79. I think I met Ralphie actually in 84.
Yeah.
84. So I was already about, I think I was about maybe 12 years old, 13 years old. I think I was in, junior high.
Junior high school, yeah.
When I first started, I don't know if you were really visiting the mall.
I was, because I lived right across the street. I was on Van Buren Street back then. And I would go across the street to the mall.
Yeah, because I do have a memory of there wasn't a mall yet. It was just like JCPenney's. Mm-hmm. And then a mall sprung up around it.
It was weird how quickly it seemed to spring up.
And actually, a Penny's was always covered in a different stuff on the outside than the rest of the mall too. It was a little bit fancier.
Very true, yeah. You know what's weird? You know how that JCPenney sign is red? I can't remember it always being red. I thought it was white before.
White, yellow.
It was white, right?
White, yellow,
The letters on the building?
Yeah, the JCPenney.
They used to be just white letters. Is it now got a box or something?
The letters are red now.
Oh, okay.
It was white back in the day.
That's signifying where their business is going in
the red. Yeah. No shit.
Well, I would say, what do you call it? The standout, the pillars of the mall.
They call it the anchor store.
The anchor stores was there was JCPenney's, there was Macy's, there was Sears, there was Emporium Catwell.
Yeah.
And I say
always smelled like old people.
And I felt like those were the big stores, and then on the inside they had a couple of for us it was the Gold Mine, Walgreens, Comics and Comics, the shoe place,
the pet store,
the warehouse and Musicland, and
John T.
later Suncoast,
Miller's Outpost,
and KB, and to some extent Carl's Toys, but Carl's Toys was kind of lame.
Yeah, Carl's was lame, but KB was the bomb. Yeah.
And
I guess they were lame because they were expensive and we were poor.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Carl's was Carl's Toys, and there was a hobby shop. They had RC cars that you couldn't afford.
Yeah, I'm saying. Why is this?
And they were also don't touch it. Where KB was play with everything. The place is a mess.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it looked like a kid's room. There was shit all over the floors everywhere in that place.
Definitely.
See, this is where we need JB when he was JB and KB.
Yeah. JB.
All right. So let's segue really quick, because of course we all hung out in the mall, which eventually made us all want to work at the mall, because for the longest time that was the place to work. If you worked at a mall, you had a good job, and there were some places that paid you better than others. And then
you remember how hard it was to even get into so many of those places? There was 200 places there, and just trying to get a job there was brutal.
Yeah, seriously.
So for you, Frank, was Chick-fil-A your only job in the mall, or did you have another one?
No, that was it.
So you had one?
I was actually there before I was supposed to be there because I was tall and in the wrong grade. So
Yep, that's
right.
So
once they fired me for not being old enough, nobody else wanted to give me another job.
No, they actually looked into the records. They were like,
hey, wait, are you 15?
Oops.
Sorry, what do you want me to do? Yeah, my first job in the mall was, of course, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is his name? Orange Julius. Had a brain fart.
That's where you found Mike, right?
Yeah. Yep, that's where I met Mike and Doug. They were running the place. Mm-hmm. Doug was the manager, and Mike was, I believe,
Holy crap. Until you just said that, I completely forgot that they worked there.
I seen Doug at the Orange Julius.
It was.
Yeah, Doug left. He went to...
Because I also worked with Mike at Round Table Pizza.
At Round Table, that's right, yeah. What was the name of the pizza place that sold pizza by the slice? Was it
Giovanni's.
Giovanni's. Doug worked there with Vic. Yeah. And I was like,
oh, Vic.
Let me get the one that Vic didn't make.
I know. Vic was not the cleanliest person.
Well, plus their parents were feuding with my parents, so like I don't want him to make my food, dude. Oh, I'm good.
No shit. Oh my God, that's right.
You also worked at Chick-fil-A.
I worked at Chick-fil-A as well. I wanted to work at Emporium.
Yeah, you got fired quicker.
I imagine that. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I got fired for not coming to the mall 2 hours before my shift in my uniform. I came in regular clothes instead of my uniform.
That's crazy.
Wow, that's bizarre.
Tell me about it.
I got fired right when I was about to get with a girl too, and then I wound up not doing that for a long ass time. Fuck you, Annette.
You said you always wanted to work at Emporium Catwell. Because Big Tom did work at Emporium Catwell.
I was jealous. He got the job.
He got the job at Emporium Catwell. And Emporium Catwell was one of the better paying jobs.
Well, of all of us, he's the one that looks like he would be most suited to work at Emporium Catwell.
Yeah, we all were.
Get all dressed up slick and be Big Tom and shit, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he had he would spend way too much time. Like for a man to spend time on his hair.
Well, that's what you got to do to work at Catwell.
Way too much time on his hair.
That's true. But then he ended up working at, he got a job at Chick-fil-A.
I think he worked there like
that's a step backwards.
And quit because he got the job at Emporium Catwell.
Oh, there
was the job I wanted. Very good.
I remember you guys were all working. I didn't start until later because I did get the job at Round Table. But when I did work at the mall, my first job, me and you got there hired at the same time, was Jeans West.
Oh, that's right.
The clothing store. Yeah. And then my favorite job at the mall. Actually, I take that back.
Oh,
because I worked at the movie theater because it was called even though it was called General Cinema. I mean, everybody called it the Salon Mall. Yeah, you know, it's the Salon Mall movie theater.
Well, General Cinema was like AMC or whatever. That was the corporation that owned the building. Right. Remember the little GCC intros before the movie?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm saying it was, but everyone just called it Solana Mall Cinema 6.
Yeah, we went to the mall theater.
Yeah.
The mall theater or the other one?
It was actually mall adjacent. I mean, that was... Jeans West was my first job in the mall proper, and then I worked at Mervyn's in the shoe department.
Kurt was the Al Bundy of the crew.
that was a 30-day job.
Long gone too, right?
What was that?
Mervyn's is long gone, right? They don't exist anymore.
Mervyn's is long gone.
Long gone, yeah.
They brought them here for a minute, and I was like, hey, Mervyn's. And then I never went, and then they all closed.
I think is that Mervyn still open in Vallejo, or is it just a building?
It might just be. I think all Mervyn's are gone. Oh. I mean, these are also places that were in the mall that are no longer there, like Radio Shack.
Gone.
Oh, I guess.
Walden Books.
Gone.
Yeah. Kenny Shoes.
I haven't seen a Kenny Shoes in...
Kenny Shoes, Tom McCann, all the shoe stores that were like the chains.
Payless just left like last year.
Yeah. Your Payless is closed also because that was a nationwide.
Yeah, that was everywhere.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that were upset about that.
You know, of the places we used to go, there's no more Music Land, there's no more Warehouse, there's no more Suncoast. Obviously, there's no more arcades, but the gold mine is gone.
Yeah, I think they still have. Is it still Tilt?
Yeah, I think it's going out of business though. Tilt's going to be leaving.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's funny. So that brings us back to like when we were teenagers. I mean, this literally was our hangout place. Like we would walk, ride a bike, catch the bus to go to the mall to literally walk. No more or no less than 5 to 6 complete circuits.
Right.
And it would always be how many people am I going to see today that I know? There'd be some people we'd run into that you basically get a head nod, the what's up head nod. Some people you talk to for 15 minutes. Some people you would talk to so long they would just be on the circuit with you.
Yeah, that happened a lot.
And for whatever reason, the mall was one of the most comfortable places to try to talk to women.
I agree.
I felt like you can either talk to the random girls who were out shopping, which granted was a little harder. The ones you really wanted to work on, it was the girls who were working because they were like trapped.
Hey, what is my number one rule of hollering at a chick? If she looks good in her uniform, then you know she's banging in regular clothes.
I actually, the girl that I had the biggest crush on, she worked at, what was that place called? The Bedazzle Jewel. What was it? It was a jewelry store that sold a lot of like costume
the cheap
jewelry.
costume jewelry store, yeah.
And she worked there, and every time we would do our circuit, we always made a stop at the jewelry store.
Oh, right.
I don't think we ever bought anything from this jewelry store.
Is that where you got
Image
your first?
Bedazzled. I think that was the name of it.
Is that where you got your first earring?
I did get my. I take that back. She pierced my ear.
There you go.
I let her pierce my ear.
Then I pierced her something else. Oh!
You wanted to pierce those guts, but you didn't.
Easy.
Right.
I mean, we were in high school, but yeah.
Well, you still wanted to, I mean, whether or not. That was the goal.
And the one job that was actually the crown jewel job there that paid the absolute most money. Because I remember we were working at Chevy's. And by this time, you're talking like around, it was like around 94, 95. Yeah. And there was this girl that we knew that worked at Hot Dog on a Stick. And she was complaining because they were only making $11 an hour. And I looked at her, I was like, you make $11 an hour? I make $4.25.
Plus tips, but still.
I'm like, you're making $11 an hour?
To jump up and down on a pogo stick.
And she was upset. And she wasn't not even like the manager. She was just a regular employee.
They did have to wear those hats, though.
They did. No matter how cute you were, you look like an idiot in that hot dog on a stick costume.
I'm saying.
Did you ever eat anything from Hot Dog on a Stick?
Oh, yes.
Besides the fucking cashier?
Wanted.
No, Mom. I would go with the green lemonade, and I would get a corn dog and a pepper cheese stick.
Ugh. The fries were good.
Yeah, I never had anything from there.
I used to eat the fries.
Because I used to walk past the Chick-fil-A and steal the toothpick shit. And by the time you got the hot dog on a stick, you're full.
Yeah.
Well, especially when you were passing out the chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Cut the chicken in half and put it on a stick.
I remember him putting a toothpick in a whole chicken.
He was like, here, take this.
Yeah, for you guys. But normal person got a normal size piece.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess Chris started taking advantage of that shit. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Out of curiosity, when you were on sample duty, did you ever have like somebody come over and over and over? Someone that wasn't a friend, just like random like mallrats.
Sure. Sure, just like the kids that we used to be, the 13-year-olds when we were 15 and 16. Yeah. And I would usually hi, I see you asshole here. I used to be you, so whatever. I figured those kids worked there a few years later, so it's all good. The cycle of Chick-fil-A.
I can say this, from working at a mall, no matter how nice your store was, that back hallway to the trash dock, no matter where you worked in the mall, it all smelled the same.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it smelled like stale pop.
It smelled like you were in the armpit of the city is what it smelled like. Wet garbage.
Wet garbage. That's the worst.
I have one, like I said before, we had worked at Jeans West. I believe it was a friend of Ralphie's. She was the manager and she needed help setting the store up. So she had asked Ralph if, hey, a couple guys to help. And she kind of hired us as like construction help because they really had to put in all the board, like
all the racks,
all the racks,
displays.
So we were setting things up and doing all the stuff. And correct me if I'm wrong, but when she set up her store, she went through all the other clothing stores in the mall, and she was looking for the best sales.
She was poaching talent.
And she was poaching talent. And so they had this big opening and everything like that. They sold a bunch. They were so busy that they actually kept us on as salespeople. We were construction guys. Kept us on as salespeople. Now I remember me and Tommy, we were having like a personal competition with each other who could sell the most clothes, just for fun. we ended up doing really well. So she kind of like liked what we were doing because we were making this more money. But at the end of the day, I mean, she ended up letting us all go.
Yeah.
You know, because she really wanted, because some of their other employees were complaining because, hey, you brought us over here from our other jobs. We're supposed to be making commission, and these guys are
poaching our sales,
poaching our
basically.
sales.
And I had another job. Actually,
We all had other jobs. We were doing this to help,
Yeah.
and this was like, and you know, we were at one point we were wearing like everything from the store.
Oh yeah,
because it was a men's clothing store.
Yeah.
So we were all dressed
all
out,
decked out,
and then we realized how cheap those clothes were.
They were hella cheap.
It was like one wash.
Yeah, they wouldn't survive 4 washings.
Yeah, they would
after
fall
1
apart.
or 2, it was over.
But the funny thing is, this was probably like 94,
Yeah, 95.
95 when this happened. Cut maybe 3 or 4 years later, I'm sitting at home, minding my own business, and the house phone rings. And I pick it up, and I'm like, hello? And it's like, hey, this is Valerie at the store. I want to know if you can come in. And I'm like, what store? And she goes, oh, this is Valerie from Jeans West. I'm calling for Curtis. And I'm like, yeah. Can you come in tonight? And I was like, do I still fucking work there?
Granted, it was 1998 at the time.
Yeah, it was like 97, 98. So this is definitely a couple years later. And I was like, you caught me. I am literally not doing anything.
So
right
you
now.
went in and worked that shift at
I
Jeans
came
West?
in and worked the shift because it found out that she was a new manager. So she was just going through the
old list.
call out sheet. And so when she got the thing, she called and I picked up. And she was like, can you come into work? I went to see if I was like, my employee number still works. I logged into the register. I ended up working there because I had another job. So I ended up working as a second job for a little bit longer. And then they started wanting all these extra demands from me. And I was like, hey guys.
Come on. You know how you get, Frank, you've had a second job before. The second job itis when it's like, oh man, fuck that second job. I don't give a damn about the second job.
I mean, I don't say, I mean, for the kids watching, I mean, you give it your all. You give it 110% for whatever job you have, 1 job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs, you work them all.
Yeah.
But I was at a point where I was like, I don't really work here.
I'm saying.
I'm just doing
I don't really work here, even though I'm getting a paycheck.
Back to the hangout aspect. Can you think of any? I was trying to think of anybody who I could come up with who I never saw at the mall. And so I was thinking, no, like I can't think of anybody. Like everybody from school you saw there at least once, if not frequently.
At least once.
There was nobody weird enough that they never went to the mall.
Even in high school, we would leave from Fairfield High because we had off campus lunch.
Yeah.
And we would drive all the way over to the mall to eat at Taco Bell. That's passing 2 Taco Bells in town to get to the mall Taco Bell just to eat, just because everyone who had a car and could make that, what did we have, 30 minutes for lunch? That was crazy.
Probably like 38 minutes, I bet.
And we would run out to the car, go out there, get in line, get it, go back. And yeah, the mall was always like, because there were people eating at Subaru's and Taco Bell and, I remember McDonald's was way down the way.
Yeah, this is way before there was a McDonald's in the mall, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I say like the mall now is not a big deal, but that city wouldn't have developed the way it did if it wasn't there.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, people came from all around to come to our mall and shop.
And you know what's funny? A lot of times I felt Hasadiddy because I felt like Vacaville didn't have a mall. They had an outside shopping area.
They had the nut tree. That was
They had the nut tree. And were you around when the outlets were there, Frank?
Yeah, they were there.
I couldn't remember if they were there or not. That was
They were pretty new. I wasn't there for very long before I was gone. I think they put those up in like '89 or something.
Yeah, and the thing is, like I said, we like when you were saying before, like, could you think of somebody who wasn't there? I mean, everybody was there at some point.
I even saw the teachers there. At least the ones who lived in town.
And it was a place to hang out. It was a place to socialize.
Yeah.
Like, even when we were, 11, 12, 13, we mostly went there to be at the arcade. And we spent hours in the arcade. You
But
know,
it
even
became,
when we
a,
didn't
it
have any
became a
money.
sub community. You know, there was like this maybe 10-year-old to 25-year-old group of people that all recognized each other beyond what they should have. You know, because we went to all these places, and like I knew Doug's friends and stuff when I was little and they were older. Because like, oh yeah, here's this guy and that guy, and you know, it was just like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it should be. A community of people that live in the same town that are kind of watching out for each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And yeah, you're right, because you would not just see like your teachers and stuff, but you would always see like your parents' friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Sure.
because they would actually be shopping and whatnot, and they'd
Yeah.
see you. So you always could, because you know we lived in a neighborhood where you know it takes a village. It's like even if I was acting up and I knew my mom wasn't there, if I see one of her friends, you know, I still can't be cutting up. I still gotta fly straight because they gonna tell.
Speaking
There
of
was
that,
definitely that people were watching us more than they would be now. But we
Yeah.
also knew, you know, like we were on a first name basis with adults in several stores that we visited enough that they just knew who we were when we walked in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, even if they didn't know our name per se, they knew who we were. They knew like what our items.
Hell,
'Cause
the
like I
comic
said,
book store knew our name because we had comic savers.
Yeah,
and shout out to the homies that worked at the shoe repair shop between Comics and Orange Julius. You know what I mean? You remember those guys, right? You will walk by those guys,
Yeah.
say what's up on our way in. The
there was a point in time where it was like the early 2000s where I was like, I don't think this shop can last much longer, and like literally it was gone like the next day. I was like, who's still getting their shoe cobbled? I'm like, how are
They
you
made it
guys?
that long, eh?
It was like two guys.
Same
It was
two
the-
board
it was
guys
the
at
old,
that
like,
desk.
You know,
Persian guy and
Yeah.
the white dude with the long ponytail.
the long ponytail, yeah.
The same two guys
They
worked
were there for years.
Forever.
And when I worked at Orange Julius, I would run into them like in the back on the way to the trash can or something like that.
I was like, how do you guys keep it? I never see anybody in here.
But I always see them working on
Come
a
to
shoe.
find out they're like laundering drug money and stuff.
I know, right?
You know, it had to be solved.
Up front.
I was like, because I'm like, serious. It's like 2005. I'm like, who is coming here?
You drop off shoes, you pick up prostitute, yes?
Buddy. You know, I'm sorry. That was being
Prostitute that 8-ball.
that was just being racist.
Well,
Yeah, but yeah, it was like, hey, Baba Boo.
No, I don't know. A lot of shady. Like everybody thought that the billiards was a shady place, but those guys were just old dudes running a business too.
Nah, man, was running methamphetamine. he was.
there were times
he was selling
Pat
meth.
and he was amped up.
He was, yeah. He had that long ponytail, and I felt like he got a new braid every new customer. Nah, he was definitely, and I remember his girlfriend, wife, I don't know, she was definitely strung out, and the old woman knew nothing. I think she thought everybody was really there playing pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He was swole. He was kind of big.
He was little big man.
Yeah.
He definitely held himself out like he was bigger than he was. But he was a good dude, but he definitely had our mentality. He was, in his head, he was still a high school kid.
Yeah, he was right.
Even though he was probably 30 maybe.
Yeah.
30, early 30s.
Yeah. Probably about 14 years older than us. something
At
like
least.
that. Oh yeah, good times. Yeah,
But
speaking of the hangouts, man, billiards.
Billiards was a big hangout, and I remember my mom not wanting me to be in there. It was like,
Because it was a pool hall.
Because it's a pool hall. So it already had the stigma of a pool hall.
Oh, but it's not just a pool hall. There's an
You think
arcade.
Thank you.
Yeah, because it had 18 games.
Yeah, that I wanted to play. At least
They had a
14
good
of those
selection
games.
of games. Yeah.
They had a great selection. That's the first place where I played Street Fighter.
Yeah, me too.
Was it?
Street Fighter.
Oh,
Street Fighter
it-
2.
No,
That's
it
the
had to
first
be
place.
the gold mine. No.
That is the first place
Yeah,
I
I
played.
remember the big pad one at the gold mine, but Street
Yeah,
Fighter
that's-
2, I definitely played at billiards the first time because
Now, I would
you or
believe
Mike was
that.
like, "You gotta
Well-
come see this."
Listen, maybe it was Mortal Kombat. Maybe that's the first place I played.
No, that was at 7-Eleven. I remember when I came to 7-Eleven, me and you lost our shit.
No, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we were like,
Remember
we
when there
went,
were
I
at
remember,
least 2 machines in like every party store, 7-Eleven or whatever. Even the Safeway had like 2 arcade machines just cause
yeah.
Yeah.
the good old days.
Safeway had
Lucky
Rygar.
Yeah.
Safeway had Rygar. Oh, I love that game.
I remember several times like walking from the house to the mall. We had our path that we would always cut through.
Yeah.
And we would go to the mall. And as we got older, I'm talking around like 15, 16, 17, we would walk to the mall. But almost every time we would get a ride back home from someone. And I remember one time this one guy was really super excited to see us, more Ralphie, you know. And he was so excited, hey, what's up, what's up? We had a good time, we were hanging out at the mall. He was like, hey, you guys need a ride? We were like, yes, definitely, we need a ride. And Ralphie's like, hey, man, go ahead, give me your number, man, I'll give you a call. He's like, yeah, here's my number. He goes, okay, yeah, and how do you spell your name again? He said, A-L. He goes, Al, just like you said. But he was so excited, he didn't even get that Ralphie was like, how do you spell your name again? That was his go-to.
Yeah.
How do you spell it? Like, how do you spell your name again? And he said, A-L. Ralphie said, Al. Just like it sounds.
And Kurt was cracking the fuck up.
But I wanted to ride. I was like, I remember it's hot. And I was like,
I could not remember that guy's name.
We're taking the ride.
For the life of me, I couldn't remember his name. And I was always embarrassed that I couldn't remember someone's name. So I was always embarrassed because I could never remember anyone's name. Yeah. So that was my go-to. But hey, how do you spell your name?
Not only can I not remember people's names, I will go ahead and say I've never seen this person before.
Oh, he's the worst, man. The worst. Oh my God.
But
never seen that person before.
I tell you what, though, again, when we would go and we would hang out, it was one of those things that I felt almost kind of bad. Like my kids don't have that. They don't have that go-to spot.
Yeah, which sucks because it's still there, but it's just not there. You know?
The mall,
the spirit of it is long gone.
The spirit of there is long gone. Even, hey, remember, like the old people would always go early, like right
the
when
old people walk, sure.
Yeah,
and they would walk around and they would do it. Because even now, I'm like, hey, you know, the floors at the mall are carpeted now. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we actually would go, after we got a little older and we had cars, we would go to other towns to their mall to check it out to compare to our, like they would have other malls and have other stores that we didn't have.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, like I'm just talking like things like Hot Topic and stuff. And I was like, oh, wow, you know, a store for goth kids. Like,
I know.
That's crazy.
You get all your black stuff.
So that's where you get all your black vampire stuff.
Yeah.
They have teeth. They have the vampire
That's vampire teeth.
Not even the fake ones, the ones that go right on it. It's amazing.
A pentagram for all my Satan worshipping needs.
And it's a belt buckle. But yeah, we would go to Pleasant Hill.
Saramonte.
We would go to Daly City.
Sacramento.
Arden Fair Mall.
Fair, yeah.
You know.
One time, me and his brother went to, we went on a mall tour. We went to like 4 malls in a day.
We mashed 11 malls.
Why? Why not?
You know, and I think we were all, I felt like when we were like that last bastion of mallrats, because it was like, you can kind of see there
we
wasn't
were
a
the
lot of
first
people.
and the last. We were the only run.
Yeah. And we were still, because now I'm putting this like in the late 90s. You know, and it just wasn't the same. You know, you're talking about like 98, 99, it wasn't.
Yeah, well, it wasn't the same because back in those days, things were like full of promise. There was like a new comic coming out. Maybe there's a girl you could talk to, see some folks you may not have seen for a while or something like that. Now it's just like, or back in that late 90s run, maybe it was just chalk it up to being older, but, you know, it just wasn't the same.
Yeah. Because I think at one point, I would say we definitely aged out at that time. You know, we're getting older, you know, starting to age out of hanging out at the mall. But we were also working in the nightlife kind of thing. So we were kind of doing that a little more. I mean, at that point, I had a day job, but the rest of you guys still had night jobs.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I would hang out with you guys and be fucking dick dog tired in the morning from my job.
That's true.
Yeah, everybody else is still. I would come home from work and people were still sleeping. Well, Tommy,
I'm always up. Yeah.
But yeah, that used to be the worst thing. Kids, I don't recommend staying out all night till 4 in the morning and then turn around and had to be at work at 7:30. That was crazy.
Oh, that's the worst. That was
and on a Tuesday.
one of the worst things that ever happened was, well, I guess you could say we did hang out at that rave. The rave that we went to where Grandmaster Flash was in Oakland.
Oh, yes. That home base. It was like the
home base in Oakland. Video at the time to really date this story. We went to see Grandmaster Flash.
I've never seen that in the Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah.
It was a blockbuster video.
We went to see Grandmaster Flash
African Bambaataa
DJ at a home base rave in Oakland, and then the next day I had to open Blockbuster, and I got 30 minutes of sleep. 30 minutes of sleep. I don't recommend it. Either don't sleep at all or just say F that shift.
Yeah.
That was the worst, jankiest
I
day
got you beat.
Oh, really?
Yes, I got you.
You got a more 90s thing than you did?
Actually, this was in the early 2010s. It was like 2011.
What's that?
We had went out for the whole weekend in Vegas.
Yeah.
And we went out, partied hard, strip clubs, the whole thing. I went to my brand new job at Sears Home Improvement. First day, orientation. Just got off the plane.
Wow.
Drove straight to work. Me and
from SAC.
Yeah, me and Big Meal. We drove from San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
We couldn't even fly into SAC.
Oh my God.
We flew into San Francisco, drove from San Francisco all the way to Sacramento to be there by 9:30 in the morning.
Oof.
Still had glitter all on me when we came in. Big Meal actually fell asleep during orientation.
Yeah.
Put his head down because we had went and exhausted ourselves over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this. I remember apologizing. I said, this is not a good first impression of what we are doing. I'm actually a good worker. I'm just,
This is not a this first impression is not a reflection of
it's not reflecting. I know you feel like you got sold the bill of goods, but trust it, we are really good. We're fucking superstars out there. Right now, I'm tired, so I'll take a little nap. You just keep talking, because I can hear you.
Wow.
Just keep talking, I can hear it.
Impression.
I can hear what you're saying, and I'm thinking about it, even though my eyes are closed.
Dear God. Oh man, Frank, do you notice that kids congregate at all, hang out anywhere when you're out roaming the town at all?
Arcades, roller rinks.
Not really beyond, you see them all in front of the school when school lets out, but other than that, not really.
It's crazy.
Now, I will say that while out, the funniest places that I've seen kids congregate would be like an eating establishment, like if it's like a Starbucks or In-N-Out. They like to hang out at the, outside patio at In-N-Out. And then, what's another good one that I've actually seen?
A skate park?
No, not even that really. I've seen actually kids at the skate park, but those are usually skater kids.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're kind of antisocial. It's funny because they're all together.
Yeah.
We're together being antisocial.
Our anarchist government.
Yeah. Just food places, kind of.
I guess you're right. And there were going to be a couple of places downtown Fairfield. Frank, they opened a ping pong place. Remember that? You do not remember that. They opened up a joint downtown that had a bunch of ping pong tables, and they were trying to get a table tennis thing going. And it may have lasted a year.
I feel like there's certain people that have tried to bring the hangout back. People that have collected like minds, they try to bring the hangout back. But I think the time has come where it's kind of moved beyond us. And there's so many things. It's like that movie Wall-E. There's so many things that's keeping us at home.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, you can have it at home now. I mean, we used to always have takeout. Now you can DoorDash, and then literally anything you want to eat, they'll bring it to you.
Yeah, that's true. Hell.
Well, yeah, there's less reasons to leave the house, but there's also, especially in the 90s, there started to be a bigger bunch of places that were like no teens, no people who are this and that.
Yeah.
So maybe they just became unwelcome and said, "Fuck it."
Yeah.
Absolutely. I remember seeing those hand-drawn signs, only 3 students
Yeah.
at a time.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
Yeah. We even for us we used to, because I'm like AM PM used to have that at lunch all the time. Only 3 students at once.
Well, I get
Like, well-
it. It'd be one guy and the thing, and there'd be 15
Yeah.
kids in there robbing them freaking blind.
Right, exactly.
And they couldn't
So
stop
I can only
the
keep
bubble.
my eye on 3 of you fuckers at one time.
Yeah.
Please
Leave
follow
your
the rules.
backpacks outside.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that did happen. And yes, you could say that maybe there came a time where, people pushed away. And then, of course, with the advent of the internet, like I said before, where you can even shop at Safeway online if you really wanted to. You don't have to go to the store. Amazon will send a drone with your groceries and drop it off on your front porch.
Seriously.
Like, you don't have to really go out. But when you do, the movie theater is still a kind of a place, before and
Yeah.
after a movie. But that's usually just talking just to say I liked it. And other than that, man, there's
Well, and even that is discouraged now because some people will come out and then spoil the end of the movie for the people waiting to go in.
yeah.
So people are sort of, actively discouraged from sharing things at this point in history. Despite the fact that we share more than ever on this stupid social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are right. Actually, that is
Yeah.
the conundrum. That is the oxymoron. Is that right? No, that's not what I wanted to say. You got anything else going out?
I got nothing. Just surge.
Anything for you going out?
No, I think we're good there.
Okay. So for Frank G and Ralphie D, I am Cool Water Kurt saying, be kind to each other. That's it. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah. Don't shoot up a goddamn Walmart, please.
That's another thing.
If you want to shoot something up, shoot yourself first.
Don't shoot anybody. Don't shoot you. Don't shoot yourself. Don't shoot anybody.
Yeah, well, you can't tell people what to do.
Hey, maybe that's another reason why people don't gather at malls anymore.
We knew a girl who got shot at the mall. Remember?
Yes.
Karen got shot at the mall.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was she was an innocent bystander.
Yeah.
But we remember there was this whole big thing. This girl got shot at the mall, and she ended up being our neighbor.
Our neighbor, our upstairs neighbor.
Yeah.
She had a twin sister.
She had a twin sister, and her twin sister was also locally famous because she had a kid in middle school. And yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh, she was like 12 years old. She was pregnant.
Yeah.
12 or 13 and had the kid. That kid now is actually, she graduated college. She has her own thing. She's doing good. The other kid, because we ran into Karen when we went to Vegas because she worked there. And it's all the stuff. And it was amazing. I thought it was absolutely amazing that a kid who had a mother who was a child and her rocker boyfriend, they were raising the kid. They were doing the best they could.
Yeah.
And remember looking
Wasn't
at
good.
them because I was like, wow, they are younger than us. And their kid is older than your kid.
I know, that was crazy. I was 21 and I had a 1-year-old. And she
They
was
were like 18 and they had like a 7-year-old.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
That was crazy, man. Well, whatever, man.
Yeah.
The math doesn't work.
Whatever it was what it was.
So when you and your kid can both get into the theater at child prices, it's not good.
Neither one of us can get on this ride.
Me and my kid cannot go to the R-rated movie.
Oh my God.
Oh, man, we just really shot all over that one.
252.
Odds on it. Pull yourself together.